Let's dive into the discussions shaping the nation.
Thanks very much, Laska Hirlock. Minister, obviously this is a very important area, and it's actually probably an area that jumps beyond political tit-for-tat sort of stuff, because I think the achievements that can be got for our young people in this area, if it's properly resourced, I think are uniquely, are unique. And I do note, which is, to acknowledge that there has been a dramatic increase in funding in this area. So, you have to acknowledge that. It's gone up from 21 or 2 million up to 36 million in a short space of time. I also want to acknowledge that there was a gap in fulfilment across the jurisdiction, and it actually literally was right in my own area, which is North Tipperary. And I'm not claiming East Clare, but I wake up every morning and see East Clare, so there's a crossover. So they were the two areas that were left. And in fairness, in February this year, there was an announcement that for Oireachtas we're going to run the programme in both areas. Now, North Tipperary and East Clare is under the one policing jurisdiction. That is a problem at times, but obviously at least we now have the one organisation running this for both areas. So we've over 112 or 13, I think it is. The success and the analysis that has been done, and this has been surveyed, the analysis that has been done in relation to the improvements it has created in young people's lives is very impressive. What is differential, though, is that the success rates vary in different locations. And obviously areas that have increased levels of crime, increased levels of social deprivation, there are huge issues, and statistically it's shown that the programmes can't cope. We do genuinely, Minister, have an issue in relation to the volume of community Gardaí. The figures are facts, they are down. So with the plans from the Minister, and I've engaged an awful lot with him on this in relation to increasing recruitment, hopefully we'll be able to deal with that. My significant problem with this is I believe in community Gardaí. I believe that they're credibly important, but the problem is in many cases community Gardaí are being appointed, but they're being taken from other areas of the force in the local division. And the problem is that that is never backfilled. So you've got Gardaí coming into community policing, which is totally necessary, but in their previous role, that won't be backfilled because there simply isn't enough Gardaí out there to do so. And every single TD in this chamber is dealing with that. Everyone is dealing with that. I have it all the time in my own area. But it's important also that through this process that the whole outcomes in education are improved dramatically. And that's why school programmes and integrating school programmes with the youth diversion programme is so critically important. And so many schools do such good work with so many young people. And then also, while the education side of things, when it comes to the 14, 15, 16-year-olds, it may drift on to whereby it has to be about employment. And obviously, the issue of trades and the requirement for more people to move into trades. And I have seen situations where this work has ended up with young people who were going on a certain pathway, ended up going on an alternative pathway, ended up feeling much more worked, ended up actually involved in a trade, and ended up getting qualified. Now, isn't that fantastic? Isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we all want to see? Where the impact on their life, where they're contributing to society, where their actual sense of worth is huge. A significant issue, though, Minister, obviously, is in the whole area of drugs. It's ubiquitous. It's a huge problem. We have children being sucked into being mules for drug dealers. A lot of this is through organised crime. And any advancements that are made with the young people through this programme are lost because of the fact that they are reintroduced to drugs continuously. It's all part of their lives. They're socialised around this. They're trying to help family members. They're not fully aware of the consequences of their actions. And trying to intercept that and continuously intercept that is a big problem. It also is formed in a sense through intimidation, that it's constant. So the work of the Gardaí has to go beyond what they're doing through the programmes, but trying to isolate younger people from some of the aspects of the community that they are around in. And that's very difficult, because many of the kids coming from very difficult backgrounds, from, in some cases, dysfunctional families, and in some cases where there has been intergenerational issues. So there needs to be a kind of a whole wraparound service for these kids to try and change their lives. I also believe that, and this has started, but it is a big gap, is that the programmes need to be 7 days a week. The idea that it's just 5 days a week simply, doesn't fit. 7 days a week, it is necessary to have some form of interaction, some form of monitoring, some form of relationship, so that the kids who are in this programme don't feel that it's a Monday to Friday, 9 to 4 sort of programme. That this is a holistic programme that is going to, that they feel they're contributing to, that is having an impact on their lives. And I've seen whereby younger people who are in these programmes have changed their attitudes towards society, changed their attitudes towards communities, changed their attitudes as to their behaviour within how they respect public facilities, changed their attitude to sports clubs, changed their attitude to themselves and their self-worth, changed their attitude to An Garda Síochána. Because many of the Gardaí who do this work have a vocation. It's a vocation that's slightly different to other work in An Garda Síochána. People who do this work have severe patience, they have an understanding, they have a sociological awareness of what they have to deal with. And the respect that's generated takes time, but it does happen. I think in many cases we need a multi-agency approach. It's not just through the schools in An Garda Síochána and through all the other people who are involved, but we also need to ensure that many of the health agencies and other social agencies, the family groups across the country, that they are all involved as well, because it's not a one-size-fits-all, and in many cases we need other supports as well. It has to be a kind of a no wrong door experience. So when kids are going into this programme, that they understand that they are in a programme whereby no matter which door they pick, there is going to be a different pathway for them once they come out through it, or they go through it. I do want to raise a number of concerns though as well, Minister, and it has been mentioned before. The Minister, there are certain crimes that are created by young people which do not merit being put into this programme. It's unfortunate, but it's real. The issue of rape and other serious crimes. And there has been cases whereby a number of people in the age bracket up to 18 have been put through this programme, despite the fact that this is the crime. Now, for me, there is within the regulations the power for you or the Senior Minister to change those regulations to ensure that certain crimes are not part of this programme and are not facilitated as part of this programme. And I'm not sure if there's anyone in this House that would disagree with me on that. And there needs to be a formality around this, because victims have to have a say. And within the regulations and within the legislation, actually, they don't. So changing the regulations to ensure that certain crimes like that are not facilitated. And I understand it's happening less since it was reported on by a Primetime Investigates programme a number of years ago. But certainly there are other crimes, not just in relation to sexual offences and rape, that also shouldn't be covered by this programme. I want to also say that the Minister referenced in his few words how the programme is extending now down to early intervention in relation to 8 to 11-year-olds. That's hugely welcome. In my own constituency in Roscrea, for instance, working through North Tipperary Partnership, there is work going on in early intervention initiative through Roscrea Youth Service. And that is the type of work we do need to intercept young people at a very young age so that they don't get involved in a life of crime. I also feel that we need to work very closely and a lot more closely with sports organisations. Sports organisations have a huge impact. They have a huge pull. They have a capacity to influence young people way further than any of us here in this chamber or any of us in many other locations around the country. And I honestly believe, Minister, that in relation to the issue of drugs, sports clubs can have a huge, healthy differential in people's lives. And I would ask, as a whole of Oireachtas plan, that we would look at some way how we can engage all the major sports organisations to work together, to work with us, to put in place a plan in relation to how we can promote healthy living, how we can promote the dangers of drugs, and how we can promote a societal behaviour that we want to see in the outcomes. I've attended meetings where people have spoken at sports events and sports organisations, and they have asked national sporting organisations to go through a programme of saying no to drugs, of creating a whole brand around this, and they haven't even got a reply. I think that would be something, working through the Minister for Health, working through the Minister for Justice, that would be really, really beneficial. And finally, just before I conclude, to allow my colleague to speak, really, Minister, this is a great programme. This is a programme that should be supported by everybody. It does need more resources in the capacity of Community Gardaí to engage, and also we need to look at the regulations and ensure the regulations are changed as well as part of this. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.